Hello, everyone. My name is Dio Morales, your host of the Gold Squadron podcast, and we're coming to you live from the... Oops, I made an oopsie. From the Dathomir. Excuse me. We're coming live to you from the Dathomir Galactic Championship Qualifier. I'm bringing my co-hosts into the chat now. I should be able to hear them now. Duke, give me a check. 1, 2.
Hey, everyone.
There we go. So we're in round 2. Super excited to be here. Thank you for joining us. If you're playing Choose Your Champion, it is open. And for all of these Galactic Championship events, we are teaming up with different content creators from around the X-Wing community. And in this round, we are teaming up with the Duke of Hobbies. How we doing, Duke?
Oh, I'm doing great. I got about 4 cups of coffee in me and fully awake now.
That's right. Well, let's go ahead and break down this matchup.
All right, so let's start with Catherine on the right here, flying First Order. We got Ember, who is someone we don't see for the FO. But Ember, if most people are unaware, while you perform an attack, there's a damage-friendly ship to the defender at range 0 to 1 of the defender. The defender cannot spend focus or calculate tokens. So, Connor Jax from 1.0, but a little updated. Then Scorch with Advanced Optics. Recoil in the TIE SF with Predator and Advanced Optics. And then Backdraft with Fanatical and Advanced Optics. So, another 4-4 lineup there. So that's pretty interesting. Again, that's going to be able to do that in-list adjustment, and Backdraft is always a solid SF pick without the SF Gunner too, even with that point reduction for the SF Gunner. So Ashok on the left here is flying an Empire with Grand Inquisitor. Naked, Darth Vader with the fire control system and afterburners, Sunterfell with Predator and shield upgrades. So AC Empires, and that's going to play a big part for this game for sure, especially since all of them are getting to move after and all of them are going to get to shoot beforehand. So I think it'll be interesting to see how he uses Grand Inquisitor's ability and when he decides to choose to spend that force too.
Absolutely.
For either the ability or defensive mods.
Couple of background pieces of information on both these players. So Ashok here, we actually had him on stream when we were on our world tour. He was in the top cut of the European Championships. I'm failing to remember whether or not he got to the top 4 or the final table. I know it was one of those, at least top 4. And then Catherine Sturgis here on the right, awesome player, part of the community here at Gold Squadron, out of Florida. Loves FO and Empire. Not surprised to see one of these dark side squads on the table, and very much plays a lot of First Order. So I'm excited to see what happens in this matchup. Who do you think has the edge here?
Personally, I'm going to go with the Empire list in this one. These FOs are very solid, and we can see that combination, and being able to generate a good kill box, and these abilities really play well with each other. But this is a tried and true list. Instead of it being Whisper, we got Suntir here, and Suntir is our Ace of Legends. So being able to do what he wants, and plus a Vader who looks like is going to be flanking pretty good this matchup. And one thing is tough to it's a ability that is pretty much naked for a while is Recoil. Yes, he will be able to multi-action and take that stress, but with it being an I4 right now, I don't really see Recoil going to get that Predator range 1 reroll for free off anytime soon, especially with these aces from the Empire side.
Agree. Could maybe give Ashok a little bit of pause if Ashok's trying to face off in range 1. Gives Catherine a little bit of a dangerous weapon there. But yeah, super curious to see how it goes. Now from I did get corrected here in the chat, or not corrected, but given the information, he did make the final versus Krupkai in the European Championships that we streamed last year. And I believe we also streamed him on the top 4 is probably what I'm remembering in that game. I did not stream the final for that event. But very, very good ace player, so I'm not surprised to see that type of list in his hands. Yeah, I'm curious to see what happens. If I take a look at where people have put their digital points, we have most of them on the left side. We're going to go ahead and open up that betting for one more minute for anybody who didn't get a chance to bet. Here's your chance to choose your champion. If you want to play, you can check your balance by typing !points, and you bet by typing !bets. You put a space, you type 1 or 2. 1 is the player on the left, 2 is the person on the right. Then you put a space, and then you put how many points you want to wager. You could also just type all if you want to go all in. I mean, that is the GSP way, by the way. So, and let me not forget that this round and all of our rounds are brought to you by Curl Paw Creatives. Use that coupon code Dathomir 2020 for 20% off, and that coupon code is valid up until the end of day Monday. Not available on Tuesday, so it's just basically this weekend.
You know, one ship I want to highlight from the FO that I really do like here is Scorch. I think this is kind of one of those underrated TIE FOs out there. I know people are starting to use him more and more, but early on, he was one of those ships that I think, you know, a lot of people are like, he just gets to roll one additional die. But you got to remember, like, it's kind of a weird upgrade and downgrade compared to Mauler Mithler. And to be able to see that with a 4 health, a shield FO is pretty potent. And, you know, I like this positioning. I personally like this positioning a lot with Ember here, trying to maintain this board edge because he got to get those aces to come towards him. So I think we're going to see kind of a weird crab walk with this FO list right now. Kind of. I think you're right. Yep. Really, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised here that Catherine didn't get too aggressive into Soontir. And again, Ashok is doing the thing where he pretended to bring Soontir in and then said no, never mind. Right now, there's a little bit of a game of chicken going on.
Definitely. You know, there's been times where people are like, "Well, Soontir's going to just turn away. Why bother going towards him?" And then Soontir now has the option to come in and engage, and you almost have to force the disengagement in a weird way, just because you don't want to let Soontir just flank you right off the bat. So that was good, smart thinking still to kind of be in there, but not 100% committing.
Agreed. Now, anybody who's joining us here in the future on YouTube or now, we stream live every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday here on the channel. Normally on Saturday evenings, Chicago time, we have Gold Squadron Flight Club, but of course this weekend we have the Dathomir Galactic Championship Qualifier. So we'll be here live on Saturday and Sunday, but we'll be back next Saturday with Gold Squadron Flight Club, our flight club where we have community matches with different list building rules. Has been really fun, and hoping to make a big announcement this week. As long as I can finish up a couple of things, we have an announcement coming this weekend about an update to Flight Club and some opportunities we're going to be giving some people out there. But that's all I can say for the moment. Also, stay tuned after the match because we have giveaways brought to you by District Foundry. We got stuff. We're trying to meet those stretch goals here for subs, and as we reach them, we give away cool stuff. We got everything from t-shirts all the way through painted ships. So thank you for everybody who has supported the channel. You guys are awesome.
So Dion, are you saying with Flight Club you're making the new rule not to talk about Flight Club?
It's for me only. I can't talk about it. I can't talk about the new shenanigans yet until I finish a thing that I can't talk about yet. Very nice try, Duke. You're trying to help out the chat. You're trying to help the chat out. I feel you. I'm sure they appreciate it as well. But I think they've gotten used to me teasing them, and then we have the reveals of things. You know, we get there eventually.
As someone on the other side being in the chat, you're very good at it. So.
I'm hoping that things get finished. There's a lot on the plate right now, but little by little we'll get there. So looking at the positioning right now, looks like both players are ready to go, and we should have any of Catherine's ships moving first. Notice they're all Initiative 4, so taking all those Initiative 4 pilots to have some flexibility in movement. We have the hard-won turn from Recoil. So we have that anticipation of knowing the aces are coming that way.
Right, and that's why it's going to come down to how much does Catherine commit at all here, and if you overcommit on an ace and miss, that can really be, you're just basically down a turn because of that. And again, that comes down to flying the aces well too at the same time. So getting that stress with Recoil, but the important thing there is kind of really spreading that arc and not just giving up too much of giving one side of the board or Vader an exit path on that edge.
No overcommitment right now, just covering all the angles. There's the hard 2. A real game of cat and mouse going on.
I like this move by Ember here. Get Ember kind of out, kind of in those rocks, and maybe shut off that lane. Again, Ember's ability is going to be interesting to trigger off this round, and it probably will trigger maybe once or twice. But the fact that Ember is now kind of either can commit to going left of that asteroid or cutting right through, will force either Grand Inquisitor to turn them further out or even Suntir not to engage in right away.
Absolutely. Anybody who wants access to the list, by the way, type !lists in the chat and you have access. You have a PDF there with everybody's name. You can just search for the players that you're trying to see or collect any data that you're looking for if you want to start planning for your next run here at the Galactic Championship qualifiers. All right, so we have the hard turn there from the Grand Inquisitor. Might be attempting a lock. Does. Taking a lock.
With Vader here. Yeah, that one straight from Invader was the nice safe call there too. So that allows him to either just acquire that lock, and he's probably only going to have that one shot into him anyway. So he could have kept that force, but there's no problems just spending one. All right, so this looks like it's going to be Vader into backdraft.
Yep, through the rock. Probably gets 3 because that's what Vader does. Changes 1 to a crit. Debating whether to spend the focus, and does. Hit crit going in to backdraft. 4 dice because of the obstruction. Spends the focus, no damage.
I like the call to be a little aggressive there with Vader. He was debating whether to spend that force, but if backdraft shot, which is going to be pretty weak into Vader, you should expect with the range 3 bonus and the asteroid bonus, you're expecting about 2 evades anyways. So it's a safe call, and he'll probably be back up the full force.
All right, 2 hits going into Vader, and spends a force. Yep, so down to 1. Gets it back. So making Vader start only with 2 force does start to limit some of the pool, especially as they start to engage here, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's why it is good to get force off Vader as fast as possible. That's the challenge with Vader, exactly when you spend his force and when not to. We've definitely seen a lot of good Vader play, and it does come down to not just positioning for Vader, but when to use any or all that force.
Absolutely. Now, Suntir, I like Suntir's kind of 50-50 position, looking straight at the opponent's board edge and saying, I'm not going to tell you where I'm going. You have to make the call. Do we think that Soontir is going to maybe go straight and try to get a flank that way? Are we turning to the right? We're going to the left? What do you think?
Well, I expect a bank to the right, and then depending on how fast it goes, it'll allow him to either barrel off to the direction that's most desirable, and then he can follow up with a boost. Or if Ember commits too hard towards that middle, he can then start chasing Ember. Any shots from Soontir is a good shots anyways, especially since the rest of the list is down by the other end and does not get to follow up. And so this, if Ember decides to cut with a 5 straight here, that bank will allow Soontir to even just fly past Ember too. So to the right bank from Soontir, probably going to see what I'm guessing is a 2 straight, because that should be blue from Grand Inquisitor, and because they don't have the 1 straight blue, I believe. And so that should be good positioning there, and then Grand Inquisitor could just either focus up or even take a lock, depending on where he sees backdraft. And then I think Vader is going to have to be a little cautious of recoil here a little bit, just not to let recoil get into a good spot. Catherine, that dial for the SF is so complementary to them, based on with the auto thrusters or vector thrusters, auto thrusters ship ability.
All the thrusters, you get them all. Which one do you want?
All thrusters. Yeah.
Awesome.
We know we have some sort of double repositioning. Which one is it? I don't know where backdraft is going to go. That's the you're kind of forced to do a 1 hard or a bank to the right. We'll maybe see a 1 bank to the right, and that gives the gun towards Vader. But if Soontir cuts in towards him, never mind.
There's your answer. Hard to, and also backdraft has that ability, right? So the back arc adds that crit. So that's what he's looking for. We have a 2 straight from recoil that clears a stress. Are we going to get a focus boost to cover the flank of backdraft? We sure do.
Yeah. So I think that's why Vader and Scorch coming in too. So setting up a solid kill box in it with a pretty good fan. Definitely, it would be tricky to get all 3, but it will probably be mostly 2. Guns on Vader or Grand Inquisitor.
And Catherine going 4 straight there. Going to take the lock after taking to deplete using the ship ability on the TIE Baron. By the way, that is an awesome painted TIE Baron. Gold, green, fire TIE Baron is our top stretch goal for this weekend. Looking forward to giving that away. And takes the focus, taking on Soontir there.
Yeah, it's good positioning in terms of getting that target lock, taking the focus for defense if need be, but not overcommitting to allow Soontir to cut through and right past him too. So great call, great move. And now we're seeing that Grand Inquisitor decision with that 2 straight.
Looks like we're grabbing the evade because there are quite a few shots coming in there. And here we go. We're going to have a little Soontir and Ember face-off. And Soontir going bravely, saying, you know what, I'm going to get that bullseye, which gives me focus evade. Pretty solid.
I don't know if he has bullseye. I'll be honest with you. It's close.
It's close?
It's very close.
All right. Well, we'll see if that ends up happening. Vader going 1 straight. This is our joust with a little rock in between. We'll see who that favors. Moving last is always... Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just about to say, it looks like Vader is kind of flying Rebel style. 1 straight to victory.
That's right. Taking the barrel roll.
And going to be force starved. Spending 2, just spend 1 force, okay, because he already had the lock from before.
Had the lock out there from backdraft, yep. And here we go, bullseye not on for Soontir, so no focus there. And here we go, range 1 shot from Soontir going into Ember. 4-on-3.
Now, wow.
Ooh, well, you know what? Sometimes you don't need focuses.
No, but here's the interesting thing. On the return shot, this might be really bad. This is actually probably a really good case scenario for Ember. So Ember's going to have one hull left, but now has a focused target lock, advanced optics shot in return. And now Soontir can't use that evade token.
That's right, because of Ember's ability. We'll get to that here in a little bit. All right, Vader going into backdraft. You see those 3 dice? Hit crit.
And is that FCS? Yes, so FCS there. Wow.
3 crits and gets 2 evades.
Good green so far for the First Order.
Yep, only 1 shield there on backdraft. Grand Inquisitor's up.
Yeah, I probably. I don't think we see him spend the force here. He's just probably because he got 2 shots. Well, definitely 1 from backdraft. That's the only shot backdraft will have. So, yeah, gonna just not use the Grand Inquisitor ability.
Mm-hmm. Got hit crit. Another 2. Safe.
Pretty good. That's pretty good greens there for backdraft so far. That's awesome. Very nice to see some good play getting kind of oddly getting pretty rewarded there too. So.
All right. So here we go. Range 1. Remember the deplete is a hit, by the way. That one that's cocked. All right, has a target lock.
Just use your advanced optics. I'm surprised they're spending the lock here. I think someone. Oh, yep. Okay, there we go. Now remember.
There's the optic spend. 3 hits. And actually, he would be able.
Oh, it's not evade. It's focus or calculate. So.
Yeah. Yep. He's going to be able to spend the evade. So just one damage onto Soontir there. That is a shield.
Yeah, I've actually liked a lot of players who commit to that shield in there for Soontir. I know talking to a lot of top players, top table players, they have said that has changed games for them. The fact that it's worth putting that additional shield on there will save us Soontir. Not just from point wise, but that first crit that normally goes in and kind of shuts him down a little bit, allows him to stay in the game a lot longer. This is backdraft into Grand Inquisitor.
All right, got 2 evades there. Yeah. Not too bad. Sorry for my silence here a little bit. I realized I put the table mic on the wrong table, so I was listening to the table audio. I'm like, wait a second, this doesn't sound right. This is not matching what I'm seeing here.
It's not that like you're managing anything here, Dion.
All right, there it is. It's at table 40. Yeah, totally on the wrong table. Let's move that to the right spot.
I think this is the right call for recoil. Keep going into Vader, trying to get Vader to spend that force and force starve him. And got the advanced optics, so going to be able to get 2 out of it.
Hit crit and will force the focus or the force expenditure. Spends a focus. And Scorch use the ability to take a stress.
Yeah, I think he's gonna declare that. I think you do it anyways, and then you still go into Vader here. Again, you now that force, you're trying to get him to lose all that force and really deny action. So.
Yep. And there you go. Ooh. Got 2 crits. Gonna spend it for hit crit. This is probably gonna be damage onto Vader, and it will spend the last force there because he spent the focus last time, and no focus modifiers.
Right, and now that does, Vader can only do one additional action, and that leaves him open. Um, I think this round's going to be coming down to, I don't believe you'll be able to block Vader all that well, but Backdraft, sitting at good health, can still turn away and put that damage fire into Vader, and Scorch can follow up with a, tailing behind, uh, uh, basically just following Backdraft, and that should maintain at least 2 solid arcs. And you can use recoil to kind of shut down, or just continue, start tailing one of the aces. So probably just going to see like a 2 hard barrel roll, but I would expect some sort of 3 maneuver from Vader, so that Vader can trigger afterburners here and maybe use it to kind of get out of dodge and possibly avoid another arc, probably to avoid at least recoil, or avoid a recoil bump. But
Yeah.
I think the interesting interaction is Ember versus Suntir. Now I take my money's on Suntir to win that matchup, but Ember is now kind of a nuisance for Suntir in a weird way.
Yeah.
So we might see the disengagement of Inquisitor from the other FOs to maybe even take out Ember, and that could force Suntir not to be in combat for a couple rounds, for another round at least.
Definitely could be. And going back to Vader, one of the things I always find interesting is the usage of afterburners on Vader, because you can have the defensive use or offensive use, and I have found that that players usually will go one of 2 ways, and I'm always curious to see how each player plays it. Like, there are people who swear, like, listen, I only use it for defense, or I only use it for offense. So for instance, like off of a K turn or a talon roll and boosting in for a shot, or is it in this case where it might be needed in a defensive capacity?
Yeah, I mean, we could. I don't think we're going to see any K turns this round with Vader, but yeah, there's a good chance that they're, later in the game. I think players like to keep that 1 afterburners in the back of their pocket just in case, and that forces the other player to really, double check their positioning or what maneuver they have decided. And it looks like we're definitely
Catherine
set from.
Is good to go.
Yeah, I with Ember, I'm concerned about, obviously keeping Ember out on the board long enough. But I believe Ember still can't fully walk away from the fight.
Absolutely. So 1 right bank here from Backdraft, setting up that back arc. I mean, that's what Backdraft's here to do, and it looks like that looks like a block attempt right there from the hard 2. It's going to clear the stress. That is a blue maneuver on the TIE silencer dial. Might do a focus roll if you think Vader's going a little faster. And oh no, just gonna tuck the silencer away. Recoil getting on the flank possibly of the Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah.
And here's Scorch taking the focus.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by that positioning call from Recoil, the barrel to the right. I didn't think we knew that Scorch kind of wanted to be in there and not be bumped by Recoil, but I think actually Grand Inquisitor can just actually kind of escape here. So I do wonder what Catherine was thinking on that decision there.
All right, so here's the lock attempt, and it looks like just barely has the Grand Inquisitor in range for that lock using the TIE Baron ability. Gonna take it on the Inquisitor. Additional action is a focus. And here we go. Correctly anticipated with the Inquisitor moving into the alley, and right now that's an Inquisitor sandwich.
Yeah, that's a good call, and this is now the debate of Recoil. Is Recoil forcing a boost and then a focus from the Grand Inquisitor, who probably really wanted originally just target lock out there, but he doesn't want to give that, not only have to spend a force to shut down the range 1, but also give a free reroll from Recoil's ability.
And gonna take a boost. And the action is he's gonna link it into focus there, takes a stress. So no evade for the Grand Inquisitor this turn. Soontir won't have a shot after doing the 2 bank to the right, and is gonna barrel roll out for a better cut in next turn. And Vader going 4 straight. He's going to be facing off range 1 with backdraft. That could be dangerous. We might see some Vader damage here pretty soon.
Yeah, and the fact that this is no way to boost out of this. None of those boosts are going to fit, other than the one to the left, and I don't think he will like that at all. So probably, we'll see a focus and then a barrel roll to try and get out of that range. Well, it's even the barrel. I think that would still maintain range 1. So just get a focus, and hopefully Scorch doesn't put in too much damage into Vader.
Scorch is licking their lips right now. Nom, 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 nom. Give me a Vader, please. Serve it up. So that's 2 4-dice shots that's going to be going in when we get to engagement. Right now, Ashok has to choose what actions he wants.
Yeah, that's why this is going to be a pretty key turn here. He can't. What he ideally was looking for was trying to boost right and then barrel roll, but since that option is cut down, he has to basically choose violence now.
So it looks like the choice is focus and pray. Already has a target lock set up and looking to hit backdraft hard. Maybe force the focus expenditure to maybe take a little bit of damage, a little bit less damage. Here we go.
Right.
And 2 focuses out there. He can change 1 hit to a crit using the advanced targeting computer. And will he re-roll? That's going to fire control system and hold on to the lock. And not spending it. 2 crits out there. 2 defense dice coming in from backdraft. 1 focus out there. Probably just takes the shields here to get that modified shot onto Vader. That's my guess.
Right, yeah, I would too, and it's a good call because
right
Fanatical and Advanced Optics. So now, you're pretty much guaranteed 2 hits, 100%, and then with 4 dice, you're looking at 3 probably. Almost. I think the probability is like above 90%.
Yeah, it's pretty solid right here. Hit crit from Grand Inquisitor going into Ember. Remember, Ember only has 1 hole left. 3 dice. Ooh. That's it for Ember.
That's a good call to use Grand Inquisitor's ability. He spent that force, give him that additional die, and just taking Ember off the board. That was very important.
Yeah, the defense on Ember definitely a little bit below average. That's going to cost Catherine early because honestly, the position on Ember was really good all game. Was really good. I would expect, at this point, with averages, Ember to still have at least 2 hole left, and being taken off the table is definitely going to hurt because the positioning, like I said, was really good. Here's recoil at range 3. It is not obstructed. It's clean. Recoil hoping to do some damage here. I believe he has Predator. Yes, recoil is on. Doesn't need it. 3 hits. It's going to take 2. Half points on the Grand Inquisitor. There you go. Those are points on the board for Catherine. So right now our score is going to be 77-26.
Yeah, what's those SFs they're strong. They're just a strong ship from the get go, and so when they if they're attacking pretty good, that's gonna the damage will go through.
Okay, advanced optics for 1, and that's gonna be 2 damage going through Vader. Shields down, and here's Scorch looking for that haymaker into Vader. Range 1. Felsepto gifting some subs. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I like the call to use backdraft for the first shot. That had a better chance. And now advanced optics.
3 hits and a crit, baby. This could be Vader right now with enough blanks. Natty's there, but he's gonna get half points on Vader. There's a crit out there. What's in the box? And fuel leak.
Yeah, fuel leak is one of those cards, though. Now Vader taking a crit is a dead Vader, and you have to be. now his list doesn't generate crits like some others, but that can just happen where you get enough to only take one, but if it's that next crit, it's game over for Vader. So maybe it's even worth, depending on where Vader's at in the next couple rounds, he might even try fixing that to kind of guarantee he survives another bad dice roll.
Yep. Right now we have 77 to 64. Here's the thing, though, with 2 of Ashok's ships at half. Usually, what I have found from Imperial players, when their aces are at half, this is when they very suddenly get cagey, right? Like they stop being aggressive. And one of the problems with that is if your aces are running away, they're not shooting, and all Catherine has to do is continue to pick at it and get one ship down. And if you can trade essentially Ember for one of these aces, Catherine's not only going to be ahead in points, but I think that might continue the momentum there and possibly give her the win.
Yeah, and Catherine, it's this is great play. We're locally we talk about how getting those I4s into a good spot it's a lot harder. But when you can start lining up those kill boxes and setting them up and getting the aces to fall in there, that's a testament of just reading the field, knowing how to set up your team, knowing your team in the first place too. We saw Ember way out there, but really these are the 3 damage dealers that are still out there, and Ember was a big distraction in the best way. Soontir is not near combat right now, and Grand Inquisitor is now completely running away with a Recoil who can kind of do whatever Recoil wants to do. So this is great positioning again, great setup, and great follow through right now. So it'll be, again, Vader is in a tricky position.
All right, well, I'm really curious to see what happens here, because with Recoil, you got enough maneuverability there to possibly get another turn where you have 2 shots on the Vader.
I'm seeing in the chat a lot of love for Catherine there. So
yeah, I mean she's part of our community here, big time, big part of it. So I'm sure we got a lot of fam out there cheering for Catherine right now. There's a hard 2.
I think I agree with Fastwalker. I think she flew Ember great there. That was just, it was good. Even though losing Ember happened, it's just a lot of good setup.
And we got the barrel roll from Backdraft, and here the hard 2 right into the gap for Scorch, taking a focus, daring Vader to land in front. And Vader's going to get shot most likely no matter what, unless he can sneak in afterburners to get past an arc, but I don't know. We had the 2 straight from Recoil, putting some pressure onto the Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah, that's good positioning there again with Recoil here. It keeps, I think what we're just going to see is just a single action, probably like a target lock. But I mean, everyone has advanced optics, so it's probably better just to keep the advanced optics out there. But I could see, I'm a little cautious. I think Vader might be able to sneak out of this without taking any shots, or get shot at, and be able to follow up and possibly even kill Backdraft now.
Yeah. Oh,
there it is.
The 3 hard. There it is. That he could hang out there if he wants to, but he could do the burners, or actually he could just roll out and not be shot.
Yeah, I think you just stay there. I don't know would the barrel roll give him a good shot in the backdraft still. Probably it's that angle. It's gonna be close, but
yeah, they're both on that 45. So if he barrel rolls, like if Vader has a shot, backdraft will have a shot as well.
Right.
But if he barrel rolls forward, you can just not have shots on both.
Right, and that's you're sitting at a 3 hull left SF who, definitely has rolled pretty good with the greens early on, but Vader's guaranteed to put a crit in with that target lock. So I think that putting the crit in, actually putting that damage in, might be the better call here. And again, it depends on what Soontir's doing. So could Soontir come in and kind of catch backdraft for additional shot? Who knows? Fail the barrel roll. Okay. Yeah, that's that's kind of B-wing style. Ooh. And boosting out with afterburners still. So gonna still have to probably barrel roll. I think that angle is a little probably gonna have to force the barrel roll, and just kind of getting backdraft to force the chase there. So I'm a little surprised by that. Was not expecting the afterburners still, but we talked about, Dion was saying he's getting maybe a little cagey here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, there was a failed barrel roll on
Recoil.
on recoil. That's why recoil is currently stressed.
It was a focus. The chat's popping up. It was a focus fail barrel roll. Yeah, and no target lock. So, but it's like I think I said, that's why it's B-wing style. That's Braylon 10 nub style. Try to barrel roll and fail and just stay in place and.
Mm-hmm. And that activates recoil's ability is the other thing. So in the event that he would have had a shot there, could have possibly triggered Predator outside of the bullseye.
Yeah, and he flipped that fuel leak. So now Vader can maybe sweat another crit.
Now, this is going to be a range 2 obstructed shot from Vader. Only 2 dice because there's no target lock out there.
Who needs a target lock?
Hit crit. 4 dice with the focus should be okay, and is. Okay. Should be, but we've been wrong before.
Yes, green dice can fail us.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're pretty good at failing all of us. I still like this positioning here for Catherine. She just being able to turn in with Scorch, who can still chase Vader. Grand Inquisitor is also a cool spot too. We can see Grand Inquisitor maybe try and come for backdraft. Some tears definitely coming in hot. He doesn't care about backdraft all that much. It's going to be, I think the big player right now is actually recoil and where recoil will go. We're going to probably see the 2 hard to the left, but the question comes down to, do you keep trying to move towards Suntir with recoil, or do you kind of stay put and maybe try and just kind of be in Vader's way? But based on the way Ashok played that last round, I'm guessing we're going to see probably like some sort of 3 to the right, and kind of boost past with the afterburners and trying to maybe set up a new lock action on a different ship.
Awesome. Yeah, so we're waiting here. It looks like both players are ready to go. No damage was dealt that last turn. Here we go, starting with recoil, turning in, covering up that lane there, taking a focus. Vader might just be able to squeeze in a 3 bank in between there, maybe.
Yep. Doing the failed barrel roll to the right, maintain that stress again. So that's good call there. Kind of still shutting down that lane without even moving.
Mm-hmm. And there is Scorch taking a hard turn. Just gonna take a focus. Catch whatever's coming in the net. Maybe Suntir is zooming in here. Gives at least some cover to Backdraft, who makes the hard turn.
I like that a lot here because you can see he can actually, if he wanted to, he could have barreled over to the left a little bit and maybe even stop like a 3 hard from Vader if he went that way to the left. But now this allows not allows Suntir to really engage Backdraft in an unfavorable way for Catherine. And now Inquisitor has to make a couple decisions. Yep.
Taking the lock. Looks like priority is to get Backdraft off the table there. Taking the lock. And here's Suntir, who will be coming in, likely doing a little barrel roll boost action to guarantee that shot, at least a better shot, and have more space to maneuver next turn.
He's currently sitting outside of bullseye for sure, so he's gonna probably just keeping that dial open. Yep, yeah, I think he's debating a few things there, but looks like he's gonna just kind of keep that dial open. Not gonna have the reroll, not gonna have an extra focus. With Suntir, the debate of Predator is always there because a lot of people like Crackshot, Predator, or you take the targeting computer when it was originally 2 points.
Oh, he fit.
And that's
he
gonna
fit
fit
that
nice.
3-bank. He fit it. This is what I was talking about earlier.
I think you just sit there and you focus, and you're pretty good. You're not,
Yeah.
you know,
You just
backdraft
hope
is
that
annoying,
backdraft
but
doesn't do damage.
yeah, well, I mean, backdraft is stuck with only that 2-gun attack, so that's that's helpful for him. And since he's not going to get that special forces gunner, since he doesn't have special forces gunner out there, and we might see the barrel roll to right.
Yep, just
Get
getting
that asteroid
that
coverage.
obstruction. Yep.
All right, so it's time for some good combat here.
Here we go. So Suntir starting first. No bullseye, which means no ability there. We're going to have an obstructed shot. Backdraft will have 4 dice on defense. This will be 3 on 4. Suntir does have a focus. Let's see how it shakes out. Backdraft hoping not to take any damage. And just the fire red dice today. 3 hits.
Whew.
And 1-2 taking a damage.
You know what though? Although Suntir's had these hot dice, red dice, Backdraft has had amazing green dice. I think just about every time generating that two evades, which is, like I said, kind of nice to see that those SFs survive out there a little bit longer.
All right, hit crit coming in from the Grand Inquisitor. Rerolls. He's going to spend the last force, getting aggressive here, trying to initiative kill Backdraft with hit crit. Denied with the focus.
Wow. The fact that Backdraft is still out there live is big. It's forcing guns not to be on any of the other 2 ships right now, who are sitting at full health and pretty happy about that too, and controlling the board really well. So I think we're only going to see 1 shot from the Catherine here this round for the FOs. You can go unmodded into Grand Inquisitor or a range 2 into Vader, obstructed, who has 2 force. So I think at this point you kind of keep shooting into Vader. You want him to spend that force, but you could put in. You only got 2 hull left on Grand Inquisitor too, so who has to rely on dice luck?
Yep. So here we go. And nothing there. Does get fanatical with 1. Rolling against 4. And who was the target?
Safe.
It was
Grand Inquisitor. It was Grand Inquisitor. He went for that. That's why it was just a range 3 bonus there.
Just
it wasn't
barely.
Yeah. That is a tough call. If you have the focus, I still think you go into Vader, because that's who you want to try and really get off the board more than anything. But or even at least force more force spending. But I think that was a kind of the right call for that round, with only Fanatical as your mod. Now Backdraft is gonna shut down 1 lane for Grand Inquisitor. Scorch is gonna block the other side, and Recoil can protect Backdraft by shutting down Suntir. So my guess is Suntir, it comes down to that rock. He's in good spot. He should be able to just kind of 5 straight with that open dial and really book it past everything, and maybe come in towards Scorch, because I'm expecting Scorch to kind of either 1 hard and scare Grand Inquisitor, since Backdraft will most likely end up just left of Vader. in that spot between Recoil and Vader. And then Recoil is basically swapping positions with Backdraft with his arc. Maybe just kind of do that 2 straight with Recoil. That should leave you open enough that you can kind of hunt after Soontir regardless of what Soontir does. So we could see complete target switch here this round.
We could. So, looks like we are waiting on Soontir. He's kind of at a weird angle right now. Does the straight fit without hitting the rock? I think it does. It's getting low on our hidden camera right now. Ooh, that's close.
Ooh,
that's really close.
Oh,
might need to bank out.
That might actually bump.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough call now. From when I was up higher up on the table, I was thinking, oh, that fits no problem. But now, that's a really tough call. Oh, those nubs make it deceptive now.
Mm-hmm. Deceptive nubs.
I do need to give a shout out to the guys who work on TTS, who make this, and the decisions they've made for the geometry of the bases and stuff. It's, I know there's been fights in the background on they're too big, they're not the right size, but you know what? Hey, they made a call, they stuck with it. You can't complain. They did a lot of hard work for us.
Oh yeah. All right, here we go.
Right,
Scorch taking a 2 straight.
So I think this is maybe that target switch I was kind of leaning towards. Going with that.
Right. Backdraft taking that 4 straight, lining up that back arc on in that area where I think Catherine might be thinking Soontir could be.
I think the barrel roll is the debate here. Do you barrel to the right? Because if Grand Inquisitor 1 hearts to the right, that's going to be definitely a dead backdraft then. Because I don't think Grand Inquisitor will have a single shot on anyone at this point. This is actually going to be this game right now. This is the, who did what, who outthought what. Like, did Catherine, coming in there, blocking that one, trying to block that 1 hard instead of taking a focus, but did Grand Inquisitor even go that way? Did Grand Inquisitor turn the other way entirely? So that's going to be that 50-50 guess here from Catherine, and then also Ashok deciding what to do. And he has the stress still. The stress is still on Recoil, but there hasn't been a second action unless it was a barrel rule or boost to the right. That would be my guess. If the
Sorry, having some fun with the chat here. So Catherine getting barrel there. Just again trying to cover for Soontir coming around. We see the Grand Inquisitor taking that left turn, boosting, just trying to get a little bit of space for next turn. Where is Vader going?
3 Talon roll.
All right, yeah, looking for the Talon roll, trying to see what is the best spot to avoid or end up getting possibly a shot if we do the afterburners here.
Yep. Yeah, this is, again, that's what I was kind of trying to talk about with the backdraft decision to barrel instead of focusing. The decision to barrel is probably going to end up hurting backdraft. Oh, no afterburner call. Wow. I don't know if that would have had arc, but it definitely wouldn't have been good position next turn, so.
All right, so what's the call here, Ashok? What you gonna do after the Talon roll?
He just Talon rolled with Vader.
Yep.
He called it there, and then he went right into Suntir, who had a boost barrel to get out of the range 1 from
and might
recoil.
actually, he's out of range 1. He's still going to be taking a shot, but with no tokens, so that could be bad. So Scorch, no, excuse me, Backdraft, no shots. Recoil looking for an opportunity here. Recoil has optics or a focus in the traditional sense. 2 hits, spend the focus on advanced optics, makes that 3.
Oh no! Oh no!
Tier, poof, gone, wrecked.
Wow!
Let's get some interesting Jawas in the chat. I think that's that face. Like, oh really?
Oh,
awesome. Some Odeons.
And poor Suntir couldn't even trigger heroic if he wanted to.
No.
Not with that awful. I saw the getting the eyeball and having no eye. That's always a terrible feeling.
Yep. And you know, it's one of those where the tokens that he could have had if he would have stayed at range 1, would it have been worth it? He probably could have had focus evade depending on the exact positioning, maybe. But you know, we are where we are right now. Score is 77 to 128. 18 minutes left right now. Catherine's got to hold on to that lead. Having half points on both of these aces is absolutely huge in this point.
Yeah. And the fact that you know, Grand Inquisitor is gonna not be favorable to try and re-engage right now. You know, yes, it's chasing the other two, but these, you know, recoil's just gonna kind of go a little fast and away, and then set up the turnaround next turn most likely, and then Scorch will probably try and stay around recoil and focus up for a little bit. I think when the time is right, re-engage. You know, so I think, you know, for Ashok to have a chance, he has to finish off Backdraft now, and I don't think he will even get a shot off with Vader into Backdraft. So my guess is Backdraft will be in a position just not to be shot at.
All right, taking the focus on recoil with the boosts, ready to receive the Grand Inquisitor into recoil's loving arms, and just bringing Scorch around. Just taking the focus.
Yep, that's a good call too, because then that blocks Vader. If Vader goes right, then Vader is most likely still going to get shot at by Scorch.
Too hard.
And we could
too hard for Backdraft. Just continuing around the circle.
This is the big debate here now. Do you even bother barrel rolling, because Vader's going to be doing some sort of blue maneuver, or do you focus up and try and give that defensive life, or take the evade? You know, with Fanatical, you might just see the evade for the defensive purposes.
Yep. We're gonna take the focus. Hard turn from the Grand Inquisitor, is in range right now and in arc. Could probably get out. Does the roll. I believe that gets Grand Inquisitor out of the arc. It sure does. And will also line up a shot.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know. Who do you think you should go for in target-wise with Grand Inquisitor here? Because you know, with Vader right now, I'm feeling go into Scorch. Scorch is maybe just less points than where they're at in the game, but you know, you're gonna get those shots off, so probably a little easier to push damage through, or have a better chance just taking it out. Oh,
yeah. Well,
probably
Scorch
gonna go into recoil though.
Yeah, recoil is just worth more points, and at this point, that's what Ashok's looking for. And they're both going to be at range 2 and range 1 using Grand Inquisitor's ability, probably. And here we go. 2 hits. Advanced targeting computer. Reroll. Gets a crit. Hit, crit, crit. Going into recoil. Takes a shield. Ashok probably hoping to get 2 there, but still could get half if he can do 2 more damage. Grand Inquisitor would be forced to use the ability to get to range 1. Yes, has the 1 force available for the mod. Going back into recoil. Hit crit. Recoil still has a focus for defense. And is fine.
Yeah, that's the right call to keep that target lock for the next round. You want to, if that was range 2, probably worth spending it at that point. But now Grand Inquisitor can do, kind of punish him a little bit more. And now, are we going to see both ships kind of head towards right into recoil, or do you see kind of more circling by the 2 aces who are in a nice grouping together, and that allows good follow-up shots from Grand Inquisitor after Vader, so that could protect both of them. But 5 health to kill recoil, who's 3 agility and gonna have a focus, and then also Scorches and Backdraft are still in this game.
Yep. Just Grand Inquisitor had 2 force, spent 1 for the ability, didn't modify with the force. There's somebody asking about the force there. So he's back at 2 because we are at the end of the round. So we are all good. It's all on the up and up.
And if you don't mind, I'd like to give a quick shout out to Francisco. You had him for Corellia. So he's our Pittsburgh from down south. It's with an H, Francisco.
Awesome. Yes. Oh, I forgot. Did I hit the community team up button? I know we did. Boom! Duke of Hobbies. I don't know if I said it this time. There it is. I hit the button. I forgot. I'm sorry.
Very good. There it is.
Just getting in the way at this point with the stress on the Grand Inquisitor as well. That could cause some issues. We'll see. I like how recoil's taking up space.
Yeah, I'm guessing we're going to see focus barrel to kind of shut down the right and not allow Grand Inquisitor to kind of barrel, bank and kind of come in. Just maybe force straight ahead, straight engagement. So this is going to be a debate for recoil, left or right, essentially at this point. It's a tough call. It's not easy. I think going to the left guarantees shots into Vader. Going to the right might take you out of combat, but also set up a good blocking Grand Inquisitor. Or we're not going to see any force spending.
I think we're just going to leave it right there. Leave it right there. No barrel rolls. Just trying to make the kill box. Inquisitor does bump. That means Scorch is going to have a range 1 shot. Vader takes the K turn. Does Vader have recoil in arc?
Yeah.
It does. Range 1 still has the lockout there as well. Here we go. 4 dice coming in from Vader.
And full force from Vader too. Ooh.
So 1 hit only. Turns it to a crit with advanced targeting computer, fire control system. And he's dumping all 3 force. He is going aggressive. He is choosing violence, as we like to say here on the channel. And that's going to be hit, crit going into recoil. So you got half points there.
And getting that crit in, that's big. That can really shut down a ship, at the right time. So unless it's panic pilot recoil really doesn't care at that point. Should see.
Yeah, there's the crit right
shortly.
there. And it is a stun pilot. After you execute maneuver, if you go through or overlap an obstacle, take a damage.
These are both 2 very good players. Basically, that's just a blank card.
Yeah, not going to be touching. Scorch. Is it range 1? It is just barely range 1. This could be the end of the Inquisitor. Inquisitor only has a single force left.
Do you spend it? The question comes down to, you spend it for defensive mods, or do you spend it to reduce the attack dice?
Looks like they reduced the attack dice. And 3 hits into the Inquisitor. Inquisitor takes 1. There is a follow-up shot coming from Backdraft.
It's
2
gonna
dice.
be with. I mean, should be guaranteed 2 hits no matter what. Focus
2
the fanatical
hits and had enough.
Wow. Keeping Grand Inquisitor alive there is unfortunate for Catherine there, with a great block too. Setting up a good block, only getting him to spend the 1 force, and only taking that 1 damage allows Grand Inquisitor to still be a menace out there. Especially now with Recoil hurt, who probably, probably with that open dial is just trying to shut down another lane now. I don't think we're going to see much, or we could actually see just the Talon roll to the left.
Yep.
But
a quick score update. We're at 109, 128, 8 minutes left. This is still anybody's game. Continue.
Yeah. This is a tough one. This is basically, I think we're going to see a block from Backdraft to kind of get in there and block the fastest straight maneuver that's blue for Vader, and then using Recoil to kind of be in there and block the slowest blue maneuver, and then Scorch to block the middle one. So we should see a good coverage of shots, or good coverage of a lane shut down by all 3. And even if Vader gets to shoot Backdraft, I think that's when you this round you take the evade for Backdraft. You have, it's only 2 dice going into you most likely, so you'll pretty much guaranteed survival from there. And then that would allow, even if Vader runs away, to go left with like a 2 bank to the left. Recoil is in a good spot to be able to still shoot down Vader as he tries to disengage.
Absolutely. Now we have some really interesting decisions to make here. I'm really excited about this. This is the kind of game I love. It comes down to the wire. Absolutely fantastic. I want to remind everybody we have 4 more rounds after this. You are watching the Dathomir Galactic Championship qualifier. The top 32 in this event will be making it to Coruscant, getting that Coruscant invite, and that's happening later in November. By the way, if you wanted to participate in any of our events, we still got 3 of them left. Not next week, but the following week we have the Concord Dawn event based in the Australian time zone. I will tell you that is actually the one with the lowest amount of tickets sold right now. So if you're looking for that chance to sneak into Coruscant, that might be your chance. And by the way, I also got those top 32 pins in last night for Concord Dawn, and they look amazing. I'm going to be showing them off here in our next break.
Nice. I'm excited. You know what? I was looking at the chat and I'm seeing some thoughts and stuff. We could see the intentional blocking of Grand Inquisitor to block Vader to have a good shot into Recoil. So it could be this. We could be seeing this weird yes no kind of situation where, with that target lock already on Recoil, let Vader finish off Recoil. Grand Inquisitor kind of saves him from bumping into Recoil. So it's all going to be a tight fit. But it'll be it can happen. And some players they do manage to set that up, and it's really interesting because you can catch a lot of people off guard that way. Okay, and that should kind of shut down that option there. So doing that too hard also, kind of fits is good, and that, like I said, that will, if Vader tries to sneak away to the left, there's no way for him now, and that blocks the slowest blue maneuver for Vader too.
Where are we gonna go? Yeah, and he can't K-turn again, so he's protected from that. Scorch doing a hard 2 is gonna bump. That's actually really interesting because if Vader bumps into Recoil, he gets a juicy shot in the Scorch. I'm a little worried about that.
Surprised by that 3 straight by backdraft. I think what she was thinking there is that if Inquisitor goes slow, it's some good shots off. But there, okay, that blocked the. You know what? That did block the 3. So, but yeah, here's that train I was talking about. We got Vader, recoil, Scorch, and then quick backdraft. Now backdraft might have a shot in the quick draw, so could see good damage.
All right, and only one spends a force there going into Scorch. Scorch hoping to just get a natty here. Got it. Inquisitor has a shot as well.
Scorch being at full health. Sorry.
Range 2 shot. Going to spend the force to make it a range 1 for the attack. 3 dice going in. And will he spend the force?
I think I'm thinking he's going to maintain it, save it.
Yeah, going for the defense. But, I mean, at this point, you probably have 1 turn left. Just 1 hit then. Got the evade. 2 shots going into Inquisitor. Can he hold on to this 1 health? Backdraft has a shot.
This is
2 dice. Going from downtown first. 2 dice shot. No mods on this. Actually, sorry, there is Fanatical. There's Fanatical. Hit crit. And gone. Inquisitor out of there. No other shots coming in from Catherine. And that's 109 to 154.
Or Cynthia. Never mind. He got it right now. Yeah, that was, backdraft being out there, still live. I get the call to shoot it since it was range 1. And that's why this is when we talked about this, or you've talked about this on the podcast and also on the channel and everything. When you take that evade, this is the great example of that's when you take the evade.
Yes.
So great call. Just guaranteeing survival, forcing the shot that should have gone probably into backdraft, but now had to switch and go into Scorch, and Scorch is like, yeah, you're not going to kill me anyways. So, and setting up those 2 follow-up shots, just great flying, great job by Catherine.
Yep, and right now this is probably going to be the last turn. Vader, I mean, at this point, you would have to, I mean, how many points are they behind right now? He's 40-something and change. So, I mean, you gotta, there is not 40-something points out there to take right now. So, I mean, he's just not going to have enough time. There's not enough time to...
I mean, basically, I would see, I guess we see a 4K from Vader, just to kind of maintain shots into recoil with the target lock. And then, Scorch could even... Yeah, see, that's why... Oh, going, checking. There you go. Making sure all the positions fit. And then, getting that stress. But then, so we're there's a good chance, backdraft is just going to basically 1 bank or 3 bank. There's the 3. Take that evade again. So, Scorch going that way, just kind of getting in the way. I like it.
There's some people doing some wrong math in the chat. I love you. Killing backdraft would not tie it up because backdraft already has half points. Has already been half, so you're only getting the other half of backdraft, not the whole.
So this is Vader into Vader going into Scorch here.
Takes a crit. Only the shield. And takes a stress, trying to finish up Vader.
All 3 guns are on Vader here, so.
Oh, hit, crit. I mean, that's how you get it started. Little by little.
that should be it for. Oh no, this is just going to be that crit.
Just one.
Yeah, so
Wounded
it's
pilot.
still alive, but that good thing that he fixed that fuel leak early on, because that would have been dead Vader.
Yeah. And one hit there. Fanatical for 2. And gets the Vader. There it is. Congratulations, Catherine, winning that game 109 to 200, able to defeat Ashok. Now, Ashok is a great player. I expect to see him continue rising, but this one goes. This one goes to the First Order. I want to remind you that this round was brought to you by Curl Paw Creatives, and thank you to Duke of Hobbies for hanging out with me for this round.
It's great to be here.